what's going on, YouTubers? For ladies and gentlemen, it's the natural born thriller. And welcome everyone. Excuse me, already messing up here. There are not beyond Botchamania. Just saying. Um, not that important. So, but welcome everyone to Impact Wrestling Review, the show from July 17th, 2021. This will be the 19th anniversary of Impact's Slammiversary 2021. 19 years strong. Impact Wrestling has been around. Same thing with the preview of Slammiversary. Been around for 19 years. What a milestone. And I'm here to give you, everything that happened on the show here. Well, maybe not everything, because I may forget some things that may have been talked about here, but I'm gonna try my absolute best to bring some stuff up here. But so basically, you had the return of Matt Striker, great. Not that anything wrong with Josh Matthews for a past month and or two, with him being on commentary since Matt Striker was on some quote unquote assignment. Matt Striker made his return on Slammiversary to be with D'Lo Brown on commentary. We have crowds back, by the way. Not the full capacity crowds, but there was enough crowds where crowds were still into the show. And they were in Nashville, Tennessee, in the Skyway Studios, obviously, and it was just great to see the crowds back. Great to see the crowds back for Impact Wrestling. Now I don't know if it's gonna continue for the rest of July, but when August comes around next month, tickets will be on sale, which means we will see more of Impact Wrestling fans coming back into the buildings. Maybe a full capacity this time, but we'll see. But I saw a lot of familiar faces there, and some faces that were new, and it was really needed for this special show itself. 500 days since the pandemic, Impact Wrestling has suffered a lot because there was no crowds. But they managed to do it for 500 days and back full force with crowds. They were very enthusiastic of this whole thing. There's things I want to talk about on the show here. Once I get to it, things that pisses me off, you're gonna find out about it. And you've seen 3 reaction videos of mine. It was just a small clip of video reacting to some things that happened on Slammiversary. Pertains to who returned, who debuted, who made a shocking challenge. Which you could see that whenever I can. Some of it was me being ecstatic. Some of it was me not being happy at all. And the other one, I was happy and shocked of it. So just a little teaser there for you to check out if you haven't checked it out yet. If you haven't seen it yet, so it's already up there. But yeah, so I'm about to get ready to talk about this show. So let me see if there's anything about attendance records. Nope, nothing about that at all. But under the promotion of Impact Wrestling, the show that I focused around most likely was the main event for the Impact World Championship title, which we'll get to when we get to it. But the opener of the show, a great, tremendous Slammiversary introduction of past, present, and then pertains to future. What's going to pertains to our world changes again, something like that. I think that's supposed to be the tagline too, by the way, of the pay-per-view. So, but let me get to that first. Now, unfortunately, you couldn't get a Tetsuya Naito. You couldn't get a Hiroshi. I mean, yeah, a Hiroshi Tanahashi. You couldn't get a Kazuchika Okada, which I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be the idea of it all. But because of the pandemic that basically ruined Japan stars from New Japan to come overseas, you know. But then again, you had Kojima come in here. You even had Finjuice coming by. You had El Fantasmo coming by, and you're telling me you couldn't get Naito, Okada, and Tanahashi, one of your three biggest stars in New Japan Pro Wrestling, to come to Slammiversary? Hell, you could at least at least try to get Bryan Danielson. You know, hell, you could even have uh a Samurai Del Cell. The former Kalisto. You could have had that's other teasers to close the brought in as well. You could have brought him back. You could have brought in Wesley Blake. Now I don't know if he's called Wesley Blake. But you could have brought him in there. But you could, remember the whole thing with Steve Macklin said that he's tired of waiting. I thought it was gonna be on this show here, and the fact that it wasn't, it's disappointing. And basically, what it was Steve Macklin was just a cliffhanger to watch, the fallout of Happy Anniversary on the Impact Wrestling show on this coming Thursday. That's basically what it was. Am I thrilled about that? Not really. Because let's be honest, I'm not gonna watch Impact Wrestling live on Thursday because I'll be, for one thing, I'll be working, and on top of that, what if I do watch Impact Wrestling live on Twitch TV, which I don't want to do that anymore, anyways, because of the format that they do when it tends to go into commercials. Where those impact moments of promos and all that, and keep repeating it every week and all that. I don't know if they still do that, but it wouldn't surprise me if they still continue to do that. And on top of that, I don't have access to TV on my thing, so the best way I can watch it is after if the show's finished, so I can watch it on Impact Plus. That's the best way I can watch the show. Now, if we did go Wesley Blake making his debut to Impact Wrestling on Thursday, pertains to Steve Macklin, saying he's tired of waiting. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he wants to do a tag team thing. Maybe, who knows? It just depends. What does he have in mind when it pertains to he's tired of waiting. Is he tired of waiting of fighting just random jobbers, no names on that, and he wants real competition? Maybe that's what he means. I don't know. Who knows? We'll wait and see. And I understand you couldn't get the Iconics too, because they got visa problems that they need to take care of. Other than that, I don't know who else they were trying to tease to come into Impact Wrestling. I mean, you couldn't get obviously you couldn't get Samoa Joe because Samoa Joe is back in WWE. So that one fell flat on their face. But there were some names that were also mentioned on the Taints everything they was teasing for Slammiversary that they fully commit. And we'll get to that. But there are some things that I need to talk about as well. Because I want to talk about some. I want to talk about some honorable mentions here. We got a video vignette of someone coming soon to Impact Wrestling. It's basically a guy's hand writing like he's going to do some masterpiece, and it says "Long live the Drama King," and right there I knew right there who was going to be. The former Aiden English, who was one point called the Drama King back in the days when he was on SmackDown, before they promoted with at the time Rusev. Now he was still called the Drama King at the time too, but he was before the whole thing with the whole Rusev Day thing and all that. He was known as the Drama King because he was being a Drama King of losing his matches, and he always do a fit. So that's gonna be Aiden English. Now he's not gonna be called Aiden English. He's gonna be called something else. I don't know what his name's gonna be. I don't know if he misses his real name or he's gonna use another name. But Drummer King, that's Aiden English. So at least we know one thing. He's got the Drummer King nickname. So that's something that WWE never trademark. So he's coming soon. Who knows when he's coming though? But I am excited to see him to come back. He's gonna wrestle. Obviously, he's gonna wrestle, and I can't wait to see him. But yeah, that's one of the honorable mentions that I want to mention. And one more thing, one minor note of honorable mentions. Impact Wrestling has announced on the show October 23rd on a Saturday night for 2021. Impact Wrestling presents Bound for Glory. Bound for Glory is going to be in Las Vegas, Nevada, which is great. They're going to be leaving Nashville, Tennessee to go other to other states, which means it's as a good process because of the whole pandemic, this whole pandemic that has been taking over everything for over a year. I mean, we're still in the pandemic, but it's getting better though. It's we start seeing a lot of people going into a lot of events of arenas, and all. So it is getting better. Now there's still some protocols they gotta do. Pertains to wearing a mask and all that. In case for those that still hasn't got their vaccination done. But the point of this right now with Bound for Glory is that they're going to Las Vegas, Nevada on October 3rd. And they are teasing AEW, AAA, and New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I believe it's around that time is that they're going to fulfill the promises. Because like I said, it pertains to trying to get a Naito, Okada, Tanahashi. Maybe they couldn't do it, because New Japan were being strict with that, with this whole thing. So maybe pertains to the to what they call them this Bound for Glory show, their WrestleMania of pro wrestling, of Impact Wrestling in a way. Maybe Bound for Glory is going to be that event, and not just pertains to getting AEW stars, AAA stars, and New Japan Pro Wrestling stars, but also the couple of former WWE stars that were recently released this year to be coming, maybe to be coming to Impact Wrestling. We'll see. So that's another thing too I want to mention too before we move on to the show. Now let's get to the actual show itself. Now, I got to start with a rant because when the show started, by the way, I did I mention something about the introduction of Slammiversary, which I thought was great. The whole past, present, and future, all that they were doing. Yeah, I think I'll fully continue on now with that because Sami Callihan was on there. He was basically like he was like a narrator of that whole thing, and you also see him there too. And he's looking at himself in the mirror, talking to himself in the mirror, basically of himself. Sami Callihan now talking to the past Sami Callihan. Pertains to him being the violent, bloodied up Sami Callihan. And basically, he wants that old Sami Callihan to face King Omega at the no disqualification match. And then, especially a nice visual that they did, just the special effects that they did and all. It really looked like Sami Callihan was really look at himself and all that. Except you could tell it was obviously a mirror there that he's but it was like Sami Callihan. It was like two Sami Callihans there, man. It was incredible. I love the production. I love the how they produced that whole thing. I mean, they get that Sami Callihan from later on and maybe against King Omega, but we'll get to how everything has unfolded from there. But now that out of the way, now I wanted to get to a rant. So, the show started obviously, and I'm watching every match that's happened here. And there's one match that happened out of nowhere. And then you had this other match where where this entrance took way too long. And for whatever reason, retains to this whole thing, especially retains to who made the return, which is another reason that why it took too long too, to why they debunk the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championship title match from the current card of the pay-per-view to the pre-show. So I was very fucking disappointed, and I say that, in a way that I am so pissed off. I'm a pissed off Impact Wrestling fan to Impact Wrestling, to why the fuck will you debunk Fire and Flavor, the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champions, on a fucking pre-show of Slammiversary? Are you fucking kidding me? Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz, especially Tasha Steelz, doing a hell of a job of getting their personas over, of getting the Knockouts Tag Team titles over, of getting everything on the TVs over, on the segments, everything you're doing with them. Even when it comes to trying to turn chicken shit to chicken salad. And we finally get to a point where they're facing Havoc and Rosemary, which, by the way, Havoc is part of Decay now, by the way. Just want to point that out. And I'm upset that they're on the pre-show too, by the way, because I love Havoc and Rosemary. And you decide to debunk these two these two teams on the pre-show of Slammiversary? Fuck you. I paid to see a Knockouts Tag Team title match on Slammiversary, and I didn't get that. So basically what happened here is that I missed the match, because they stupidly put that on the fucking pre-show instead of putting it on the main card, instead of having this other match that you had, and then having a long entrance for this one fucking person I'm gonna get to later, and then you just this one thing after the match was over, from the Knockouts title match, where the segment that also took long as well. You did all that, and you decided to debunk the Knockouts Tag Team title match on the fucking pre-show. Pissed off. So I missed the match. DK, Havoc and Rosemary, apparently Black Taurus and Christy was out there. They defeated Fire and Flavor, Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz. Kiera Hogan, by the way, they should replay it, by the way, on the pay-per-view though. 8 minutes and 55 seconds it lasted. Kiera Hogan took the pinfall, by the way, because why not? Well, here's the thing. If Tasha Steelz is going to be a singles wrestler, then by all means, let Tasha Steelz get the strong push and give her the most wins. Because clearly you don't see Kiera Hogan anything special anyways. It's been like that since day one with Kiera Hogan. They never saw her anything special, even though she's killing it in Impact Wrestling along with Tasha Steelz. Even before Tasha Steelz was there, Kiera Hogan has always been killing it. Even before she got into Impact Wrestling, she's always been killing it in pro wrestling. They just don't see her anything. They just don't see anything her special anyways. So why even bother? And plus, I knew that the kid was gonna win either way, and I was fine. I was fine with that. But what was not fine is them being on the pre-show, because they might as well have a good match. But I wouldn't know because I didn't watch it, because it wasn't on the pay-per-view. It was on a fucking pre-show. What a stupid move Impact Wrestling you fucking made. Kiss my fucking ass. The opening match was the X Division match, championship match, and Ultimate X match. 15 minutes and 45 seconds it lasted. The participants: Josh Alexander, the champion, versus Ace Austin, versus Chris Bay, versus P.D. Williams, versus Roy Raju, versus Trey Miguel. Shira and Madman 14 were banned from ringside, and we'll get to them later too, by the way. Match stuff was great. The one thing that I didn't think it would make any sense for the whole thing what they were doing with Ray Rajul, because he's very small. He couldn't reach the red cable to to make his way to the middle of the to get to the X-Division belt. So when he tried to grab it, he couldn't reach it, so he missed and he fell on the ring, and in the ring and all that. And then they have him doing some things like I think he may have got a steel chair in the middle of the ring, and then got on the steel chair and tried to grab the belt, whatever. And he tried. Oh yeah, and then another thing, he had oh yeah, that's what that. Um, not think about. I don't think he did have a steel chair, but he had a rope. He was playing basically, playing cowboy, trying to pull himself up there and all that, and he did. And the crowd were actually loving Rick Arjul. They was like cheering for him and all that, and like, wow. I didn't think the crowd was going to cheer for Rip Anjou. That shocked me, by the way, that they even cheer for Rip Anjou. These guys that haven't been around for a while, and they're cheering for Rip Anjou. That's a first. And nothing he did, he had some kind of hook, whatever, to try to hook the try to grab it. And I said to myself, what's the point of all this? Yeah, and yes, fans were getting into it. They were loving it. They were chanting for Rick Rajul, but this is to me this was stupid. And then later on, he climbs the scaffold thing to grab to the red cable, and I say to myself, why couldn't you just do that in the first place? Why couldn't you just do that from the very beginning, instead of doing all this comical thing you were doing with Rick Rajul? Because here's the thing, I don't want to laugh at I don't want to laugh at Rick Rajul because he deserves better. He needs to be treated seriously. They treat him like a joke in this match. And I know that was supposed to be on their attentions, but I didn't like it. It's an Ultimate X match. I don't want to see any comical comedic bullshit in this Ultimate X match. It was no place for that. Besides that, this was a show stealer. In my opinion, it was a show stealer. The opener was a show stealer here. Besides Ray Rajul's comedy stuff that he was doing, he also has some good stuff in this match too. Yeah, he was pulling off some good matches. Some good moves in this match. I meant to say. Even Chris Bay, Petey Williams, Trey Miguel, Ace Austin, even Josh Alexander, especially Josh Alexander. But the one thing that was awesome, it was Josh Alexander gaining Chris Bay on his shoulders, and then Petey Williams from the top rope, and then goes for a Canadian Destroyer, which I called it the Doomsday Destroyer, just based on how it's supposed to how it look, because that's the position of the Doomsday device, and just the way it was done, it was, oh my god, it was a thing of beauty. And yeah, so basically in this match, I predicted 3 winners. My first pick was Josh Alexander, obviously. My second pick was Chris Bay, and my my dark horse pick was Trey Miguel. Now, one of them did win. One of my favorites, one of my three picks did win. I thought those would give it to Chris Bay. Hell, I even thought they were going to give it to Trey Miguel, but instead it was Josh Alexander. He retained, still the X-Division champion, which rightfully so. I'm glad he still is. I was fine with either way. With those three guys winning, but Josh Alexander was my first pick, and I'm glad he did. He's really killing it as the X-Division champion, and he's killing it right now in Impact Wrestling, so he deserves it. Cheers. Then we get to the mixed tag team match. 6 minutes and 5 seconds to last. Excuse me. It's Brian Myers with Sam Beal teaming up with Brian Myers teaming up with Tina Dashwood with Kid with a K at ringside. basically got Sam Beal and um Cable from K at ringside for Brian Myers and Tina Dashwood as they go up against Matt Cardona, who's always ready. He was wearing tassels, like he basically gives me vibes of he gave me vibes of the Ultimate Warrior. He was wearing a little bit face paint, but not like Ultimate. It wasn't Ultimate Warrior face paint though. It was like his own type of face paint. I don't know I don't know what he was trying to go for there, but his outfit was tacky and look at a little bit of neon colors in the way, which was I love it. Basically, again, give me vibes of Ultimate Warrior because Ultimate Warrior always loved to wear neon colors and tassels. And then his mystery partner came out, and sure enough, it was as I thought it was. It was Chelsea Green, the hot mess Chelsea Green, and they did a nice entrance video for seeing Chelsea classy Chelsea Green, and then you see hot mess Chelsea Green. Basically, it's the two split personalities that she's been doing after her run of Impact Wrestling. When she just started going to the Indies and doing other things before she went to WWE, and then she was just regular Chelsea Green, But now she's back in Impact Wrestling. I think she's in Ring of Honor, by the way, if I'm not mistaken. I could swear she's just in a Ring of Honor. Which is the Women of Honor Wrestling. The women's division of Ring of Honor, whatever they're calling it nowadays. But yeah, but I don't know if she's officially back in Impact Wrestling. Which if she is, great. I'm glad if she is officially back. If she has a deal where she go to two places like Ring of Honor and Impact Wrestling, that'd be great too. So so it's Chelsea Green, and she doing her whole thing where she's a hot mess too and all. Now I remember when she first did the whole hot mess thing, when she was in the wedding dress and all that, and her hair's messed up and her makeup, her lipstick all smeared on her face and all that, and she constantly comes out every week wearing the wedding dress and all that. I didn't like that. However, this type of attire that she's doing, where she's still looking like a hot mess on that with her messed up hair. Well, half her hair was messed up. The other half was neat and all that. Basically, like I said, just the split personalities of a classic, classy Chelsea Green, and the other one hot mess Chelsea Green. So there you go. Match itself, it was alright. Wasn't really into it. I especially wasn't into it with Don't Even Kill for K, and Tina Dashwood. That whole thing with the you already know how I feel about that. But in the end, but the match didn't last that long. It didn't need to last that long, anyways. It was the right time and the right outcome too. By the way, with Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green getting the win. So there you go. Not much to say about the match. To me, it was a good feel match, but at the same time, it was more of a good feel of seeing Chelsea Green back in Impact Wrestling. W. Morrissey, excuse me. I keep saying Morrissey. W. Morrissey versus Eddie Edwards. 11 minutes it lasted. Match itself, it was solid. It wasn't the match I thought it was going to be, pertains to anything that was going to be great or at least good. It was just solid. And what made it worse for this whole thing, W. Morrissey, he had some kind of chain that was around his boot, whatever. So referee tried to back up Eddie Edwards, whatever. I don't know how it happened, but W. Morrissey hits Eddie Edwards with a chain, and then he goes in the ring to give him. I can't remember how he beat him, but he basically W. Morrissey had to cheat to beat Eddie Edwards. And I say to myself, Impact Wrestling, what the fuck is wrong with you? Is it that important to protect Eddie Edwards like that? especially to a big, muscular, guy like W. Morrissey. You mean to tell me that a guy like him, 7 feet tall, had to cheat to use a foreign object to beat Eddie Edwards? Are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Why are you protecting Eddie Edwards like this? Why couldn't you just have W. Morrissey just beat Eddie Edwards clean? Why you gotta do this fucking bullshit? We have to cheat to win. He doesn't need to cheat to win. He's big enough to beat guys like Eddie Edwards. He didn't do it to Rich Swann. He didn't do it to William Mack. Well, he didn't even do it to anyone else. It tends to he even beat 3 guys. You haven't beat 3 guys. And yes, there were jobbers at the end of the day. It has been talents, nobodies. But he didn't need to cheat to beat all 3 of them. You mean tell me he needs to cheat to beat Eddie Edwards? Man, this fucking company. I don't get why they're protecting Eddie Edwards for. I really don't get it. I don't understand it. I will probably never understand why they're protecting Eddie Edwards for. That was so fucking stupid. I mean, this guy is is making his own redemption storyline, coming back after everything he's been through. He's getting a second chance, or almost a second chance. He's getting he's got plenty of chances to finally to redeem himself in pro wrestling, and he's going up against someone like Eddie Edwards that Impact Wrestling is thinking him of being the heart and soul and being the locker room leader and all that and everything. And then this is how they booked the finish here. This is how they booked the match. W. Morrissey cheats to win against Eddie Edwards, where he didn't even need to cheat to beat Eddie Edwards. Fucking stupid. And here I am going to think about I was going to finally cool down on Eddie Edwards. Nope, I'm right back where I am with Eddie Edwards now. Fuck Eddie Edwards. And fuck you, Impact Wrestling, for that shit. Speaking of something that pissed me off too, by the way. So we had GM Miller interviewing Miguel. I forgot his name already, his last name. But Christian speak highly of him before. And I don't remember if he was part of the Asylum videos in the past, before me, obviously. But it's got Miguel, and he's always go to these shows in Impact Wrestling. And after 500 days, of finally getting crowds back, he finally makes his return. He was being interviewed, and all of a sudden, you get Madman Fulton and Shira coming out complaining to the referee because they were banned from earlier. And I said to myself, that was earlier. Why are you coming out here in the middle of a show to argue with the referee about this? It made no sense. But then also it started making sort of makes sense when Scott D'Amore came out. And basically, that's nothing. It's not the referee's decision that they banned them from ringside. It was Scott D'Amore's decision to ban them from ringside. So So the whole thing with Madman Fulton and Shira coming out to complain with the referee from banning them from ringside. At the end of the day, it wasn't a referee's decision. It was Scott D'Amore that told the referee that. Scott D'Amore at the end of the day banned them from ringside because he's the executive vice president. So why are they mad at the referee? If anything, they should be mad at Scott D'Amore. They should have confronted him in the office instead of confronting the referee else in the middle of this ring to complain about why they're being banned from the Ultimate X match. They were not even assigned to that match in the first place. This whole thing made no sense. So Scott D'Amore came out. He basically made a Pro 2 wild card match for Shira and Madman Fulton to have a match against Finjuice. The return of Finjuice, David Finlay and Juice Robinson. Match lasted 1 minute and 15 seconds. And guess who took the pinfall? It wasn't Shira. It was Madman Fulton. Because Why the fuck now? Why the fuck not? Now, I did it on the reactions, by the way. I was excited to see Finn Juice. Not knowing that was going that was going to debunk the knockout tag team titles onto the pre-show that I didn't know about. But this lasted 1 minute and 50 seconds. Basically, you just bury Mammoth Fulton again. Yeah, I don't mind having Mammoth Fulton losing clean, like how you just did there. But when Eddie Edwards have a match, you gotta protect him. There's gotta be some fucking favoritism going on around here. That's gotta be the explanation of all this. There's gotta be some favoritism going on here. This was a waste of my time. This squad card thing, it didn't even last that long. Why was it even the match in the first place? This could just happen on regular Impact Wrestling show. Instead, they did it on Slammiversary. They wasted this on Slammiversary. So fucking stupid. Oh, it gets even better now, folks, because we get to Chris Sabin versus Moose. First of all, I love Moose's entrance. The whole Egyptian thing that he was doing, the whole Egyptian attire that he was doing, I thought was great. But we get this match with Moose versus Chris Sabin, and Moose is kicking Chris Sabin's ass, and Chris Sabin has some offense too. That's the 12 minutes and all that, right? And then we get to the end of the match, and Chris Sabin rolls up Moose and gets the win. And I was just sitting there watching and in shock, and I'm like, why? Why did Moose have to lose to Chris Sabin? Moose is one that needs to get the push here. Moose is the one who is is getting a lot of people's eyes attention after he did back in what when was that Rebellion River or Hard to Kill, the whole thing with Kenny Omega Good Brothers versus Rich Swann, Chris Sabin, and it was supposed to be Alex Shea, but he for a reason he couldn't show up, he couldn't be there, so Moose was a replacement, and then Moose he got everyone's attention on social media and pro wrestling of his performance, and then he's getting close to where he's gonna sign with other companies, rumor was he was gonna sign with WWE, but then he started to resign with Impact Wrestling, and then obviously they gave him the title shot against Kenny Omega, and then they did what they did on there, which was bullshit. And not to mention his match against Rich Swann, Moose against Rich Swann and all that. And which was a good match too, by the way. Title for title. TNA World Champion versus Impact World Champion. Where they had to face Kenny Omega. At Rebellion. Oh yeah, I remember now. It was Hard to Kill. Where Moose had that great performance in that 6-man tag match. And then that Hard to Kill happened where and then Rebellion happened where no, sorry. I can't remember what show it was before we got to Rebellion, where it was gonna be who's gonna face Kenny Omega for the title at Rebellion, and obviously it was Rich Swann. But so, and then Moose came back, and then he ends up winning against All Odds. I think it was against All Odds, and yeah, it had to be against All Odds. Unless it was Hardcore Justice, I can't remember now. But anyways, Moose gets to win that match, and he gets to face Kenny Omega for the title, and then they had that match on Day's Place, and then we saw how that ended up. Moose ends up resigning though with Impact Wrestling, and of all things they haven't wrestled on Slammiversary was against Chris Sabin. Again, there's no disrespect to Chris Sabin. But this is right up there where Chris Sabin winning the Impact World title back in 2013, where it didn't mean anything, it didn't do anything for Chris Sabin or for the company. And here we are again, Chris Sabin getting a win over Moose, where it shouldn't even have, like, what was. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that Moose lost. This was the idea for Moose for Slammiversary, losing to Chris Sabin. And again, no respect to Chris Sabin, but Chris Sabin didn't need this win. This does nothing for Chris Sabin. It does nothing for Impact Wrestling either. So you're telling me, your solution for Moose, for Slammiversary, is losing to Chris Sabin. And what's that going to do for Moose later on? So stupid, man. So. That was bullshit. Speaking of what else happened, that was bullshit too, by the way. So, the 4-way tag team match for the Impact World Tag Team titles, 10 minutes and 10 seconds lasted. First, you had Rich Swann and Whit Matt coming out first, doing their thing. And then you get Fallah Bahh coming out to announce his tag team partner. Because, for whatever reason, TJP couldn't show up. You know, no reason why he couldn't show up. Nothing about him being injured. Nothing about, he's got personal issues with his family or whatever. Or maybe he got suspended for violating something or whatever. Or maybe he had some backstage heat, whatever, with someone that led to him being punished by being off the card, whatever, or Slammiversary. Nothing. They just say all they say is that he's not going to be there. He's not going to be able to participate there. So Fallah Bahh came out, makes an announcement. Basically, Impact Wrestling says, do you have a replacement? Do you have a replacement for TJP? And then he says, no way, Jose. And now comes No Way Jose, except he's not No Way Jose. He needs to call No Way. So you're telling me this guy, formerly known as No Way Jose from WWE, a name that he got from NXT, where WWE, obviously that's owned by WWE. I don't know. You told me this guy, a Dominican wrestler, who's fucking garbage, by the way, found his way around to still have that garbage gimmick that WWE gave him, and found a way of to at least have the name No Way, because that was his catchphrase too, by the way. He's saying no way. No way. So he could wear the same color Blotano outfit that he wore back in when he was on the main roster. The whole green, yellowish thing. That's Blotano. That's how basically it's Blotano. And then you got the Congo lines, and Johnny Bravo was part of that whole Congo lines too. You also have I think you have the Stringer Rails there too. Whoever I was watching. Oh my. Impact Wrestling, you take the biggest fucking L for bringing this guy in, and they wasted too much time with him doing this whole Congo line dancing, all this fucking dancing, and then Rich Swann's dancing along with them, Remax dancing along with them, Fallah Bahh's dancing along with them, fuck this shit. This was the worst thing I've seen on Slammiversary. And you already see No Way Jose sweating already. And because of his wrestling, it's because he was dancing. Because I guarantee you, the sweat that was coming off his body is not because of his hard work in the ring. It's because of the hard work of his footwork. Because again, this guy as a wrestler sucks. He's garbage. He's always been garbage. He called Cameron Grimes right now in WWE, but he's Trevor Lee. To me, he always beat Trevor Lee. Trevor Lee has trained one of the most worst students that he's ever trained in pro wrestling history. And now Impact Wrestling's got this guy in Impact Wrestling. And guess what? His wrestling in this match, no different than what I saw in WWE. Still fucking garbage. Still fucking sucks. He makes John Cena look like a 5-star athlete. Yeah, I'm going that far. This No Way Jose wrestler makes John Cena look like a 5-star athlete in the ring. And I fucking hate John Cena. And this has nothing to do with me being an AEW fan either, by the way. Good Brothers came out too, by the way. Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. And they got Vampire Design. Joe Doring and Rhino were there. They were being covered by Eric Young and Diener. 10 minutes and 10 seconds lasted. Match itself, I thought was good for the most part, except for No Way Jose, because he's fucking suck. And then in the end, the Good Brothers beat Rhino. So then they're the new tag team champions. And I said to myself, why? Why do the Good Brothers have to win the belts? And then Doc Gallows grabs the belt, and then he's swinging it back and forth like his how big his dick is. So we're back with Doc Gallows once again, grabbing that belt and swinging it back and forth that's just him swinging his dick. Yeah, we're back to that shit again. Great, just great. Good Brothers sucks. I never thought I'd ever say that, but the Good Brothers sucks. And the Young Bucks sucks too now. And Kenny Omega's heel run, his goofiness sucks. Deonna Purrazzo defends her Impact Knockout Championship against a mystery opponent, which I thought was going to be Mickie James, but I'll get to her later, by the way, because she ends up being on the show. Instead, it was Thunder Rosa. 10 minutes and 30 seconds lasted. So when Thunder Rosa came out, I was in shock. I was happy about it, actually. I would prefer Mickie James, but Thunder Rosa, hey, I love it. And this is the first time they ever met. In my knowledge, this is probably the first time they ever met. I could be wrong, but don't quote me on that. But since Impact Wrestling, this would be the first for me. So they had a match, and I love Thunder Rosa's outfit, by the way, and her entrance too. Cool, very cool, very unique. So they had a match. It was great. They had a very good match. For me, on my point of view, my first time seeing Deonna Purrazzo versus Thunder Rosa wrestling each other for the first time. I thought they knocked it out of the park, and it was great. I loved it. A lot of counter after counters, routines to submission moves and all that. It was just amazing. And Thunder Rosa really took it to Deonna Purrazzo, and Deonna Purrazzo took it to Thunder Rosa too. And then in the end, Thunder Rosa loses, which I expected. Yeah, I expected that either way. Thunder Rosa to lose, to Deonna, because I said before, it doesn't matter who it was. Even if it was Mickie James, I still would have went with Deonna Purrazzo. And Deonna Purrazzo still retained, and I'm glad she did. So yeah, Thunder Rosa, she had her moment on Impact Wrestling Slammiversary, which was great. Deonna Purrazzo still the Knockouts champion, still dominating as Knockouts champion. And then she's gonna cut her promo. All of a sudden, to me, it was underwhelming, and I shouldn't feel that way because I love Mickie James, but when as soon as Hardcore Country hits, I had a smile on my face, but I didn't pop like I thought would pop, like I did with Thunder Rosa, because it should have been Mickie James. No disrespect to Thunder Rosa, I'm glad Thunder Rosa got her opportunity, but it should never have been Thunder Rosa. It should have been Mickie James. it would have been one more soothing of Thunder Mickey James making her return facing Deonna Purrazzo on this show instead of teasing what's gonna happen at NWA, which I'll get to when we get to it. So Mickey James comes out. She's hardcore country and all, and she's kind of promo. It's great to be here in Nashville, Tennessee. Be back in Impact Wrestling, hardcore country and all that. And then Purrazzo took offense of and thinks it was very disrespectful that Mickey James did that to for interrupting her. And basically Mickey James said, I don't mean this. I'm not disrespecting you or anything, And she says, she's out here to let her know that she wants to invite her to the first ever NWA all women's pay per view called Empower. And Jan Purrazzo basically she kind of in a way she kind of rejected her of it and basically said, so why don't you just get out here and take your trash bag with you with your name on it or something like that, which I thought was nice that she referenced that, because what WWE did to Mickey James. And Mickey James took offense to that and all that. And also I think they start pushing each other or something like that. And also Mickey James gets her a kick to the face, and then that was it. Basically, what they're doing here is they're teasing Deonna Purrazzo versus Mickey James for NWA Empower, the first ever women's all pay per view. That probably was Mickey James' idea of doing that in the first place, because she mentions on the show she's an executive vice president for Impact Wrestling. I mean for NWA, I meant to say. So, and obviously because because NWA, her husband's there too. So that's what they're doing. So I can't wait to see the pay per view. By the way, our first all women pay per view for NWA's pay per view called Empower. I'm all for there. I want to see who else is gonna be there too. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have a lot of women's around the world, except the E, to be part of that show. Fuck you, Triple H. Anyways, as another time. And finally, main event. Kenny Omega defends his Impact World title. He had all his belts with him, and he placed them all on the stage. And Don Callis came out there with him too, by the way. For Sami Callihan, 27 minutes and 5 seconds lasted in a no disqualification match. And the jump start match, Sami Callihan went for him, to attack him, and gives him a power driver, I meant to say. And I thought that was gonna be it there, but nope, it's to continue. And you had steel chairs involved. A steel chair with wrapped around with barbed wire. You had the pizza roll colors like that. I think, and you had a fork. You had thumbtacks. You had I'm trying to remember what weapons they had there. I don't think there was a baseball bat there, if I not that I recall. But this was a sick match, by the way. Kenny Omega started bleeding. Sami Callihan started bleeding. Don Callis was on commentary and all that, which was some good interactions there with Theo Brown, match record with Don Callis, which was hilarious too. But yeah, the Good Brothers came out, only for them to be stopped by Chris Sabin and Eddie Edwards. So basically, we got Eddie Edwards coming out there, who lost earlier to W. Morrissey, and they had Chris Sabin out there who won his match against Moose. Instead of having Finders, out there, you got those two guys out there instead. Favoritism at its finest. And now I'm fucking throwing shit around. Well, I like it done on purpose. But yeah, but in the end, I was Kenny Omega getting the win, which I was not happy about because you're telling me Sami Callihan did all this. I mean, you did all this with Sami Callihan of being the more contender, of him being fired, storyline by Don Callis, only to be reinstated by Tom Dreamer, with chance to Anthem, and then with him being reinstated, he gets his opportunity back. He signs a contract and all that, which Don Callis tried to avoid that happening, and trying to frame him and all that. We get to this point, and at the end of the day, Sami Callihan just loses. This reminds me of last year, folks. Because here's what happened afterwards. So Kenny Omega and Don Callis and the Good Brothers out there, they're all doing the Too Sweet thing. Also, let me see Bullet Club. Like, oh, wait a minute. Bullet Club. At first, I was thinking about, Guerrillas of Destiny. I thought they were coming out. Instead, it was Jay White, the Switchblade. And I was happy to see him there. As soon as he got in the ring, though, and they started all doing the Too Sweet thing because they wanted him to join along with him. And I said to myself, but here's the thing: they're not Bullet Club anymore. They're the Elite. So why would Jay? So basically, what they did there, they had a cliffhanger here. Jay White, show up there and all that. They immediately cut away. They ended the show, and that was it. Like I said, it reminds me of last year when Eddie Edwards won the world title, getting beat up by Ace Austin and Matt Fulton afterwards, and the Good Brothers came out and saved Eddie Edwards, and then they stand tall with him and all that, and then they ended the show, and there was no follow up after that. Now there's going to be a follow up with this one though, because I don't see Jay White, teaming up with Kenny Omega, and the Good Brothers, because again they're not Bullet Club anymore. Apparently, what happened after the show was over when they went off the air. Finjuice came out, and then something happened afterwards. Jay White took care of Finjuice, whatever. I don't know, because there's gonna be a match between David Finlay versus Jay White for the never opening title belt, which by the way he had the belt with him on the show, Slammiversary, and that was it. But there you go. Yeah, this show was on this was an underwhelming show, folks. Slammiversary. I didn't want to feel that way. Excuse me. I mean, yeah, you got some people that I was shocked to see there. Finjuice returning, Thunder Rosa being there, Jay White being there, Chester Green being there, Mickey James being there. And there was some good matches. I was not fun with No Way Jose. Fuck him. He's garbage. Impact Wrestling took a big L for that one. But there's a lot of mistakes they made here that I didn't like. Moose losing. W. Morrissey, couldn't beat Eddie Edwards clean. He had to cheat to win. Good Brothers winning the belts from Bomber Design, even though they should retain. Because they're killing it right now. And with No Way Jose being there now I am full bore for Diener. Because at least Diener is being treated seriously in Impact Wrestling. Because now you added in a joke, a piece of a clown, trash, shitty joke in No Way Jose. Great job. He's right up there with Joey Ryan. To me, No Way Jose is right up there with Joey Ryan. Another fucking joke in Impact Wrestling. Except Joey Ryan's not around anymore, and that's his fault. Good for his ass too, by the way. Fuck him. Kenny Omega retaining. I didn't like that either. Kenny Omega doesn't need the belt. He should at this point lose that. He should never have this. He should not even be Impact Wrestling champion at this point. It should have been Sami Callihan. Hell, it should have been Moose. One of these two guys could have been fine with me. Instead of having Moose losing to Chris Sabin, why couldn't you have Moose face Kenny Omega on this show here and have him beat him? Another mistake is debunking the Knockouts Tag Team title belts on the pre-show. And let's get to my highlights of Slammiversary 2021. Swerve of the Night goes to No Way Jose, being followed by his partner. Shock of the Night, Thunder Rosa being the mystery opponent for Darren Purrazzo. Moment of the Night, fans coming back to the Impact Zone after 500 days since the pandemic. Promo of the Night, Don Callis for Kenny Omega retains to the hyping up the main event for talking about how Sami Callihan has garbage and all that, and all pertains to no disqualification match and all, and basically talking about his past with Sami Callihan and everything. It was a very fiery, passionate promo there by Don Callis. It was pretty good, pretty damn good. Video promo of the night was the introduction of Slammiversary of 2021, which I thought was great. Segment of the night was DK retains to after they won the tag belts, because they did a segment with them after they showed a replay of what happened on the pre-show. By the way, where the hell was Su Young? What the hell was Father James Mitchell? I thought it was supposed to be some kind of surprise going on the show, and nothing happened. Yeah, another thing that didn't happen on the show either. Besides, some shocking debuts and returns. Other than that, there was nothing about Su Young, Father James Mitchell, or even the K's surprise thing that was going to do on the show. Nothing happened with the K and that and all that. All they did is cut a promo about winning the belts and all that because we are decay. Another thing they want to do another cliffhanger to watch Impact Wrestling this coming Thursday. Entrance of the night goes to Matt Cardona, Chelsea Green, and Moose. Performance of the night, Thunder Rosa. Move of the night, the Doomsday Destroyer, performed by Josh Alexander with Chris Bates on his shoulder, while off the cable thing, I'm assuming it's from the red cable or from the turnbuckle that Pete Williams did to Chris Bay, which again, sick move. And I love how Chris Bay sold it afterwards, and then later on he did come back later on at the end, but for the most part of it, he was selling it like he was knocked out. Basically out of the ring for that long. Better than Matt Jackson. Just saying. That's how I sell a Canadian Destroyer. Even if that Canadian Destroyer was a Doomsday Destroyer. The Queen's Gamble was my finish of the night. Or that's how John Price will be done Rosa, by the way. Wild card of the night. I add that one. Matt Fulton and Shira versus Finn Juice. Brew match of the night was the Impact World Championship title match, but in a good way. It was a good match. Showstealer of the night was the Ultimate X match for the X Division title. And match of the night was the Impact Knockouts Championship title match. There you go. And those were my highlights of Slammiversary 2021. And my overall strength for the show. This show was underwhelming. This show didn't live up to my expectations. Other than shocking debuts, returns. But other than that, this show did not do nothing for me. It was like last year. It did nothing for me. And I did not want to feel that way. I don't ever want to feel that way. But this year did not make it any better. Based on the things I just said. And that's all I gotta say from there. That being said, thank you for watching. I'm just gonna end it from here. Impact Wrestling, you can go to fucking hell. I'm out here.